Welcome back to the lab. We've got some bits for the BMW here. Let's have a look at those. So, I guess you know what we're doing next. That's blatantly obvious, isn't it? We'll give them all a bit of a tidy up. Actually, I might give this a bit of a polish inside here. That's had a bit of sandblasting effect going on there. Not that anyone's going to see that. It just will look nicer if someone takes it off one day and it's shiny in there. So we'll run the flappy wheel on the die grinder around there a few times and make it look pretty. We'll potentially put it in the lathe and do it with a bit of paper that way. It's probably going to get a better result, isn't it? The rest of the stuff is pretty much ready to go. Rocker covers, I've got to clean them out properly. We'll do the same with this, because even though you tape it all up and take the baffles off on the inside and stuff like that, there's still a chance there's grit in there from sandblasting, from the preparation. You do not want grit inside your motor for obvious reasons, which is why we've had the bonnet closed and our bit of the lab tool number 00376245, protecting us from dust and stuff. There's actually a couple of little bits under there as well, just to make life better for us, to avoid any crap. So we will give this all a really good clean and we will reassemble everything. I've still got some work to do here, organising some fittings that go into here. One's for our map sensor, which is just there somewhere, and one of those lines has to go to our boost control. We've got one has to come from there and go across here and do our vacuum on the brake booster. That has to go through a check valve. We need to get some vacuum line for that. All this stuff's all just a little bit harder to get than what it normally is. I'd like to be able to just go. We've got to make this bracket too. This hideous bracket. We'll remake that. We can't have something like that on there. That's, I mean, it's not. No, it is. That's an awful job, even for a hand job. Stop laughing. You can see the edge distance here on this hole to here. That's terrible. I mean, that bracket should really line up with the edge of that, would be nicer. You can see that the fold is somewhat sketchy, sharper at this side than what it is at that side. The paint is not good enough. It's rusting. The notch in here is quite clearly done by hand. Bigger on one side and the other. And I mean, these plenums are like $1,000 or $2,000 or somewhere around there, $1,500, whatever they are. And then you put just a piece that you might put on your Massey Ferguson boat tractor right on top of it where everyone will see. Yuck. So we'll fix that. We'll do something with that. I'm knocking the hell out of it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't make that. I could be wrong. That might be Glenn's workmanship 3 years ago. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. Right. We can get on with this other stuff. There's a few things that can just go straight in really easily that'll look nice and make things look like good progress real quick. Cam covers would be the first one you'd start with, right? Stop the rubbish going into the engine while you're working on it. So let's do that. Lube. Look, it's shiny. It's been lubricated. Fancy that. Bit of a unique thing to do, apparently, isn't it? Lubricate something before you assemble it. Anyway, I've got some old sealant to clean off there. Cam covers are nowhere to be seen. Lube, see? Lubricate stuff. Lubrication's good. Actually, the cam covers are somewhere to be seen. There they are. Can you see them? They're in sunshine drying because they've been water blasted because the dust was inside them. Wasn't going to come off with the air gun. Gave it a bit of a blast and ran my finger over it. No. Time for the water blaster. So we've done that. Wait for those to dry. Got to put all the baffles back in with new sealant and Loctite. Somewhere over there's some Loctite. Loctite, where are you? Is that the Loctite or is that bearing retaining compound? Nah, that's not the one we want. There it is. Oof, that's seen better days, hasn't it? That's what we want, to hold the little screws, so we don't lose the screws inside the motory thingy. Right, let's do something else. Time for some cleaning. How much of that do you reckon will come off easily? And this freshly rebuilt engine. Look, I've cheated. I've already... You can see it actually coming off just as easy as that. Good to see you went to the trouble of taking the baffles off, cleaning in there. There was actually, look, you can see it, quite a bit of hard residual crud in there, schmuck, mess, fod, yuckiness. It's not hard for that to come out of there and get into the engine. So we'll tidy those up, we'll clean these up. By the time we've done that, you know, clean the screws up, I guess, too. By the time we've done that, the rocket covers should be good. Give them another blast out with the air gun there, sitting on the toolbox ready to go. And then we can assemble these, like I say, with some Loctite, and some sealant. That's dead. Sealant. Yay. There we go. A sensible amount of cleanliness achieved. I would lick that if I had to. You'd probably have to give me $20 or something though, because it's not 100% perfect, and it's never going to be because it's not brand spanking new. And there is still a little bit of residue on there, but I'm comfortable that we're not going to have any problems with crap falling out of that and going through the motor. And I'm not going to say that I was confident that it was in that state before, because there was quite a lot of stuff coming out from under here. Granted, it won't be necessarily hard stuff that could potentially cause damage, but still, you don't want crap floating around the motor. Okay, so I've said it 3 or 4 times now what I'm going to do next, so I won't say it again. All set for the appropriate amount of ugger-duggers on these screws here. Don't use one of these are useless. Get in there, many, all ugger-duggers. That's how you do it. Definitely how you do it. Cool. Now, let's put those gaskets on there and get them on the motor. Genuinely looks massively better already. We're not even, I mean, we've put 2 pieces on. 3 if you count the heat reflective gold foil there. Definitely something to be done about that. Having a party with that. Can't leave this here above that there. Bad. So we need to do something there. Turbo beanie perhaps. Yeah, it's probably the easiest way, isn't it? We'll look into that. Let's find something else to put on. Don't mind the pitching outside there. It's starting to look good, eh? It's starting to look alright. Except it'll be a bonfire if we use it like this. Eventually. You can't do that. That's bad. I've talked about that before. You can't have read the speed flow manuals or the aeroflow manuals and all those sorts of things. You cannot have a hose like that. That's actually already trying to bend it. You have to have some flex in it. This one here, that's all right, except for the fact it's actually too long and it needs a clamp on here somewhere. That's fine, we can deal with that. This has got speed flow fittings on it, which makes me think that I possibly did this one. This has got some brandless, nameless fittings on there, which makes me think that that's, well, I mean, I wouldn't do that. So that has been changed, or I didn't do this hose and then that was put on afterwards. But I seriously doubt I would have set it up like that. I'm smarter than that. So, wondering if maybe I had the hose on the end, and then remember that fitting was loose on the end of the fuel rail there. So it may have been when they went to put the heater hoses on, it clashed with that or something. I don't know. we're going to need Sherlock Holmes to figure that out, and it doesn't matter anyway, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and throw it in the bin, because I don't know who makes these fittings. I don't trust them. The piece of hose in between is too short. The angles are all going to be wrong. So this can Foxtrot Oscar, and we'll do something nicer. What we'll do is, I'm just leaning over the top of the motor here. We'll take this blank out here. We'll take that fitting, we'll put it here. We'll go 90 degrees out of here, and we'll run the hose around here like that to a 90 onto there. And then it's got some flex, like it's supposed to have. Because otherwise, with the engine moving on its mounts, torquing and twisting, and or if the car gets a big knock and the engine moves a little bit, it'll just bust that hose that was in between there, and it'll just bonfire. It'll be much more black, but not as shiny. So we can't have that. Not interested in that. There might be enough fittings here to do that. We can certainly order them. Not at this time of the day. Tomorrow's Friday, so that's not going to happen anytime real soon. Oh, that might turn up Saturday. But we're not starting this right now anyway, right? So there's a little bit more to do before we can start this. We can't run it without any engine, without any gearbox oil in it. We can't put gearbox oil in it because we don't have a speedo sender in there. And we kind of need to put the car on the hoist to put the speedo sender in, and we actually need the speedo sender, which is coming. It is coming from, I don't know, somewhere. Calvin knows, from the Cartoon Company. If you're into Toyotas, look up the Cartoon Company. Right, we've got some more pieces to put in. Things, stuff and things, harness and coils, blower valve, air intake pipies. I'll put that one on tonight actually, as soon as I've pulled all the blanking paper out of here. I don't want any, I don't know, mice making nests in there or something like that. So there we go, good progress, not bad, good size. Couple more bits and bobs chucked on there. Starting to look like an engine that could potentially run with just a few more things done. We're a little way away though. Still got to put a dipstick back in this actually. Kind of hope that'll happen without too much drama. We weren't very impressed with where the dipstick was originally. It was a bit of a mess. So I'll figure out which hole it needs to sneak down through, there or there, and rebend everything and get it all sorted out. It wound up, the dipstick was basically almost underneath the big plastic cover that comes out here, the air intake for the cabin air. So we'll shift that. No big drama. We'll get that done. Something else that needs shifting is the harness. The sub harness for the coils here is that just fell on the ground from somewhere. It's good. Fell on the ground twice. It's fine. I threw it on the ground. It just fell off the front of my toolbox, I think. You can see that we've got our plug down there. We've tucked it down there, kind of out of the way, but easy enough to get to. And to coil number 6 is a reasonable length, but it's like the cylinder bore spacing is wrong for the harness. By the time we get to number 1, we could actually have an 8-cylinder engine. So I mean, if we actually put a cover over the top of the coils, I'm not sure if he's intending to do that. I'll have to ask him. Of course, he's got no bolts in because you can't get the plugs under them without lifting the coil up, and possibly I'm going to trim these wires up. If we're going to put a cover over it, no, hey, we won't worry. We'll just do that. And she's good. You just gold, but otherwise I might shorten those up. We do have some new plugs, so we can take the extra length out of there and make that look right. Just being fussy because if he's not going to cover that, it's right in front of your face. It's right there. So speaking of in front of your face, there is a cover to go over this. It does need reconditioning and tidying up. I tried to buy a new one. You can't. So I've got a bit of work cut out for me there. No clamps on anything at this point in time, obviously. This is about the point, a little bit prior to this actually. A lot of people take a photo of their engine bay in this state and go, oh, doesn't it look cool, because it hasn't been run and nothing's dirty or dusty and there's things missing. It looks clean and tidy. Kind of cheating, kind of not. But. Right, so we need vacuum fittings here. We've got a map sensor, we need a fitting for that. Normally you would tee it to run to the regulator, but we've got heaps there, so we'll just do another fitting for the regulator. There's another one that needs to come around to the front, or around the back and back this way. No, we'll go around the front, away from the heat, to run the wastegate solenoid. The solenoid's somewhere. I'm not sure where that is. Is it in here? I've lost that. I'll find it. And we need to run vacuum with a check valve for our booster. Talked about that earlier on, I think. But that's us for today. It's knock off o'clock. That is correct today. It's weird. Lost time, kept time, lost time. So, she's looking better. We need to get one of these filters in black, I think. That'll set it all off quite nicely. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.